Oh, I'm live. Someone could let me know if you could see me. And oh goodness, see we got a twisted cat here already. Um, but yes, if someone could let me know that you can see me, that would be great. And 'cause I don't want to get going too far and then find out that no one could hear me or see me or anything. So um, I'm so sorry I have not been on to do an update, and I haven't done YouTube so long I forget where I'm supposed to look. So um, this is just going to be an awkward video. But I am still here. I know several of you had expressed concern that this long absence had meant something had happened, but I'm still here and still figuring out what's the next thing that God wants me to do. Hello, oh thank you so much. I'm gonna try. Hi Natasha. I don't know everyone's real name. Some of you I only know your handles, but I know Natasha well. Hello everyone, thank you so much for your prayers. I wanted to let you know that this is not going to be a regular occurrence because my chemo is all over the place. I do 5 days of it here and then I take a break off and then so I really I can't get on any kind of a schedule just yet because my treatments are still kind of all over the place. But let me just kind of collect my thoughts here because I kind of get scatterbrained, no puns intended there, but the radiation has just made me kind of absent-minded. I'm trying to read the comments too, and so I'm just gonna kind of give the comments that I had prepared to give, and then if you had any specific questions about prayer requests or anything like that, I can try and update you there. So for those of you who don't know, maybe you're just finding this video, I was diagnosed. I've been a YouTuber for several years and had just given my curriculum picks and was all geared up to homeschool for the fall, and I was driving my son home from football practice and my leg started tremoring and what I know now was seizing, and I went to the doctor the next day, ended up in the ER by that Thursday. So within the span of 4 days, I found myself in an MRI, having a brain scan. And of course, the next day it was told to me that I had a brain tumor and it was cancerous. So I was shipped down to the downtown cancer center, and the rest is history. So I have had 6 weeks of radiation and to my brain, and then I've had 6 weeks of chemo that was pretty mild. I didn't even know, I really didn't get any side effects from it. As you can see, I have lost my hair. That didn't happen until I had surgery. And I was not planning to have surgery, but the radiation actually caused the tumor to, let me back up. When I started having these symptoms of what they thought was growth of the tumor, right after I finished radiation, they did a stat scan and they saw that it had enlarged and it was actually pushing my brain over to the side. It's called a midline shift for those of you who may be medically savvy. Oh, thank you. I don't feel amazing, but I'm glad that it's not, too scary. I wasn't sure about going live with this head thing, and I'll explain why my arm is kind of doing its own thing. But anyways, so I went in after my radiation was over and I started having all these symptoms of midline shift. And so they confirmed I had it and I had to have emergency surgery. Now, not emergency like same day, but what they call urgent, so I did have that, and they ended up resecting as much of the tumor as they could. But what they determined was my tumor didn't grow. All right, the night before my surgery, and they saw what they thought was growth. They were all, you could see it on their faces. I felt so bad for them. They just, because they were shocked that this had happened. They were like, we can't believe it grew. We can't believe it grew. Like during proton therapy, that's usually the only time we see this tumor shrink. So the fact that yours grew, this is bad. And they all wore it on their faces. They all were just devastated. And so the next morning, the morning of my surgery, I have the surgery, and I'm fearful a little bit because, the doctors are all scared. So should I be scared, Lord? And so I ended up waking up from the surgery pretty alert. Like, how sometimes you're groggy? I was pretty alert. So when the doctor came in, you know how they have to come in twice? Well, she said, I don't think I have to come in again because you're so alert. And so she said, Carrie, your tumor actually died. It was dead inside. Yes, it got bigger, but it was getting ready to explode. Doesn't that sound awful? That would have been really bad. I have to imagine that would have been bad. It wasn't growing as in new tumor. It was expanding because it was like getting ready to like bust apart. 80% of it was dead. So I really didn't respond like how they were thinking. That they said, this doesn't normally happen. Like, we've never seen this happen. Instead of shrinking down to die, mine expanded to die. And so, but what that did is it allowed them to go in and scrape out the dead cells. And so that's what I had. I have an incision from here to here, and I had to have a craniotomy, an emergency craniotomy, or an urgent craniotomy. We did that, and that was on July 29th. I had the surgery. We took out 80% of the tumor, and there was no growth in any part of my tumor. And what was the other thing? And the tumor was in front of my motor area. So see, on the scan, they couldn't tell if my tumors were going through my motor area. And so that's why you haven't seen this hand so much. And why it's probably still going to be a while before I drive, if at all, if the Lord allows that to return. Because they were able to spare my motor function. They guesstimate that it'll take 4 to 6 months. At first, they said we would know within 2 to 3 if I'd get anything back at all. And I was moving before I left the hospital. So my progress has been very speedy. I guess I'm about twice the recovery rate of what other patients that have had this surgery and recovery, what they typically endure. So I'm really thankful for the speediness of it, but I have to tell you, I'm a little impatient. And we always want to be better and do things ourselves. But that in of itself, you guys, is such a lesson for me to learn, to slow down, to let other people minister to me, and to not put so much value on busyness, but on like the quality and the intention of your activity. So a lot of lessons to learn. I'm certainly not done learning by any stretch, but the Lord has been very gracious. I'm having a little trouble with therapy, scheduling it. It's really hard to get therapy appointments. And when chemo really wipes you out, then we can't, do therapy because they just want me to rest, and so therapy's kind of going a little slow now. At first it was going, before I started the treatment, it was really going well, but now that I've started this second round of treatment, it's going a little slower. So I will wrap it all up and then look back through and see if we have any questions here. But I start chemo Monday. If you all would please pray. Monday, what's the date? The 18th. Monday the 18th. Okay. We're upping my chemo dose because this most recent scan that I had Wednesday, Wednesday showed that they think that the chemo might be working, and they did not expect the chemo to work on this tumor. They expected the radiation to, but they said, we think it got smaller between your last MRIs, between your MRIs. So we want to keep you on this chemo because we want to, only switch when it's not working. So it gives us more options down the road. So I'm sticking to this chemo, but I'm increasing the dose. And I just felt gross. I felt like morning sickness, but you didn't actually throw up. Like if any of you had that, you just had this general ick. That's how I felt. And I really don't want to eat anything. Like I have lost 10 pounds and I don't really have 10 more to give. I'll just be honest. I didn't start off with much to give, but I really don't have it now. So please pray that there's something I can find during this chemo cycle that I can keep down, or that I can get down. Because I haven't actually been sick, praise God, but I just can't get anything down. So he said, is there anything you like? And I said, ice cream. And he's like, eat ice cream every day. So my husband heard it, and he said, I'm just gonna buy the big tubs and you can just eat it whenever you want. And I don't know that we're gonna do that, but ladies from church are baking me things and just trying to fatten me up here. So that's the first part of the prayer request, is pray that I don't get sick on Monday, or any day. It'll go Monday through Friday. And it's a pretty, it's a pretty, I don't know how to describe it. It comes on sudden, like I'll be feeling fine and think, oh, I missed it. But, I didn't have to, I didn't get sick, but then it'll just out of nowhere, boom. And then I'm on the couch for the rest of the day. So that's prayer request number 1. Prayer request number 2 is for my family. My husband has been working at home. He started going back into work 2 days a week, and he's actually away today, which is why I'm making this video, because I always feel awkward making it when he's here. I don't know why. But pray for him. He is bearing the load of mom and dad, and there's some other issues in the family that he's trying to help with, and of course his work. So please pray for my sweetie. And then lastly, please, my words don't come out so good, you guys. Please pray for my kids. They are adjusting very well to the private Christian school that we enrolled them in. And, I've received so much help from those ladies there that are trying to help me learn how to be a school parent after being a homeschool mom for my whole life, or my whole time as a parent. So pray for my kids, my husband, and my appetites. So I will look back and try, and I can't unfortunately go back on all the videos that you have liked or left comments on. You guys are amazing. That's why I wanted to do this, because you guys have you have not stopped watching, and you have not stopped commenting that you're praying. So I wanted to at least come on real quick and do this. I just saw a question. I don't know, how do I? Okay. So I'll wait till it pops back up again. It just kind of pops up every so often. Oh, how much of the tumor did they get? Well, they got 80, this is what they told me at first. Okay, I see the question. Okay, so how much of the tumor is left? Of the big tumor, about 20%. But there were 3 tumors, and the 2 little ones are still there, but they did not grow. They did not grow. So they're considered stable. In fact, that's what she told me at this most recent visit on Monday. She said, this is Dr. Briggs, so this was a he. He said that you either classify a cancer as, gone, like remission, which mine won't ever be. Stable means not growing, or what was the third one? Oh, progression. He said, this is not progression. He says you are what we would consider stable, and for this particular tumor, that's the best thing we can hear. So I'm happy with that. And he actually said, but in your case, Carrie, I think it got smaller. So no, Natasha, I can't go in remission. Now, they said you might have what we call temporary remission, but it will come back. And, sometimes it can be a couple months, sometimes it could be just, 1 month, but it will come back. The name of the game for this tumor, they said, is control. And mine in this practice, in this medical practice, this particular doctor's office, whatever, he has never seen it this early. So he's not used to seeing how it reacts if treated at this stage. It was incredibly small. Now I had one big one, but they thought that was a lower grade tumor. And I'm sorry, I feel like all these details I'm giving out like all scattered. I hope you can follow along. When they took out my tumor, they found grade 2 and grade 4 cells. And they said that if you find grade 4 in one place, you have to assume it's everywhere. Grade 4 is the fastest growing type of cancer, and that's what I have. So, but I also have grade 2. So I says, well, can it change, or is it a mix? And she said, yes and yes. It can change, and it can be a mix. So I had grade 2 and grade 4 cells on the pathology when they biopsied the tumor cells that they took out. So they said that one of two things happen. Either the radiation changed the tumor, I don't know how this works, but it changed it to a level 4. I don't know which way. They said it changed. They said it could have changed it, like it went from grade 4 to grade 2 or grade 2. But anyway, I had cells from both, and they said that was probably from the radiation, that it mixed everything up, and that's what you have. So the 2 little tumors, those have not changed. And the bigger tumor, only about 20% of it is left. So we have really reduced the burden of my cancer. So, your brain is only, got this much room to live in. And if you add tumor, then you start to have brain pressure or increased cranial pressure and all of these things, because you're getting more in there to try and fill up that room. I have reduced the burden she said. And so she said, as far as I'm concerned, we've reset the clock. And they've all just been incredibly, like the one doctor told me, you know, he doesn't normally get excited. Speaking of another doctor, he doesn't normally get excited. So if he's excited about this, then your results are really good. So that made me feel better. That made me feel really great. So I'll try and summarize it for you. We went to the doctor Monday, got a great report. We have a stable / no new growth / maybe it got smaller a little bit report. That was what they said. And I start chemo Monday to try and further shrink these buggers and get them out of there. I just saw a question come through, can they do surgery to get the other tumors? No, because of where they are. They didn't want to do surgery on this. The only reason they did surgery on this, they wanted to treat this completely with, you know, medicinally. They did not want to do surgery because of where this tumor is. However, when the tumor started looking like it was growing, but it was actually exploding or expanding, it was creating a more life-threatening problem in my brain. So the medial shift or midline shift. So they had to do it. It kind of forced their hand. The cancer kind of forced their hand, and they had to do surgery. But they can't do surgery on these other two tumors. They're too deep in my brain. And as it was, this was kind of down there, they said, and that's why they left the 20%, because they couldn't go any deeper into my brain. It just wasn't safe. They said I could wake up. Well, I could not wake up, and I could also wake up paralyzed completely on the right side. So they didn't want to do that. So as it is, I have to, you know, regain strength in this right side, but that's okay. We're doing pretty good there. I'm walking. I'm using this hand, but it's just not quite as good as the other one. And I feel like there was one other question somebody asked me. I don't know. Oh goodness. Can they do there? No, I don't just have one tumor. I have 3. And the ones that they've, you know, left in there are currently not growing. So that's a praise. I am right-handed, so it's a challenge, but you know, the thing that the Lord is teaching me, well, he's egads of stuff, but the one thing that has stuck out to me is how much I used to, and still do, I guess, how much I used to really worry about small things. Oh my goodness. How much I used to just, you know, my daughter forgot her, you know, favorite folder, or, you know, she forgot her, you know, colored pencils, you know, or whatever. When we would go to the library to, you know, do an assignment or something for school. And I would just get so upset about that. Like, oh, but we needed the colored pencils so we could do this drawing, and who cares? You can color it when you get home. But like that kind of stuff used to, you know, just, you know, oh man, just kind of get me upset. And you don't need to be upset about colored pencils, you guys. We just do the next right thing and pray for opportunities to be liked, because that's really what the most important thing is just being light in our community, being light in our home. You know, there are several, you know, in my sphere of influence that don't know the Lord. And so I can use this time, Lord willing, to minister to them. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I did not plan for this to be 25 minutes. I just was gonna be on here for just like 10, but I didn't know so many of you would be on and I'd get to answer your questions. So I am so glad to see all of you. I am, according to the doctors, not responding typically. This is not what this tumor usually does. This is not how the patients respond and how they feel. So the Lord is showing himself strong in my life, and we give him all the praise and glory for that, because he's the one who's doing it, right? It just might as well say who it is, because that's who it is. Okay, so if you just came here, you know, clicked on it, didn't know what it was, my whole purpose on sharing these things is so that God would be glorified, and that you'll know how when you face this place, which we're all gonna face it, you guys, may not be cancer, it might be something else, that you'll have an anchor for your soul, that you'll have hope, that you'll be able to be joyful through it all. And if you don't have that, I can tell you, it comes from my relationship with Jesus Christ. And you can go to, what is that website? You can go to the Bridge Tract, I think. I don't know. If somebody knows, there's a link to the Bridge Tract, and it's like animated, and they walk you through how you can have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That has been the anchor for this journey, and I would love, love, love to know that someone that watched these very scattered, not prepared videos came to know Jesus through this whole thing that the Lord has sovereignly appointed for me to journey through. So I'm going to really let you go now, and I will try to come on again when there's something, you know, kind of new to report, but every day is just, you know, I can't drive, you know, I can't drive because the cancer's in my brain, and I can't really use my hand and foot. So I'm here most days, but my mom is coming out and she takes me for errands and things like that. So, and ladies from our church, and so I am getting out, you know, I'm doing things, but most of the time I'm just here. So I'll try and get better about answering questions as time allows. Okay? All right, you guys, take care. Enjoy every minute of your homeschool journey, because we didn't expect ours to end so abruptly. And if you should have something similar happen, it's okay. We still relate to our kids well. They're still learning, and we're still enjoying it together. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye. Oh no, I forgot. I forgot that I don't remember how to end live videos. Okay, I should have. No, that's not it. Okay, is it this? Oh, good grief. How unprofessional of me. See, I'm not a real YouTuber. No. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.